My beloved, my chosen one, can you feel the trembling in the air right now? What you're feeling isn't imagination. It's the aftershock of something heaven unlocked while the world slept. There's a strange pull in your chest because your spirit already tasted a truth your mind hasn't caught up to yet. And just as your eyes move across these words, something in the unseen realm is shifting again. If your heart feels heavier or lighter at the same time, it's because this message isn't coming to you, it's coming for you. A moment like this doesn't repeat itself. That's why Archangel Michael leans closer than ever and says, "Today the 8th of December something shook the skies last night and angels are still in shock because you don't yet know what happened." Think about that. Heaven is still stunned, angels who have seen centuries unfold paused because of what was revealed about your life. And you right now are standing at the doorway of that revelation. Before you move forward, breathe. Let your soul settle into this moment. This isn't random text. This is a divine interruption. A tap on your shoulder from the unseen world. If you feel guided like your spirit is waking up, hit like and subscribe right now because heaven rarely sends the same message twice and the next words are meant to reach you exactly on this day, not a second later. Last night while your body rested, heaven didn't. There was movement, light, noise, and urgency that carried your name. Archangel Michael descended with a sword blazing so bright the shadows around your destiny dissolved before they could escape. He called out your name with force, not anger but urgency. A warning wrapped inside love. A message wrapped inside protection. And that message is standing in front of you now. God says, this is your final chance to understand what took place in the unseen. Not final as in fear, final as in opportunity. There are moments heaven schedules that cannot be rescheduled. And something about this one is tied to your next season, your next breakthrough, your next healing. That's why your chest feels warm or tight. Your spirit recognizes timing that the mind cannot. Last night the heavens shook. Not symbolically, literally. Something that was blocked for years cracked open. Something that was hidden was exposed. Something that was stolen started its return. The angels saw it and gasped because the shift was not small, it was historic. It was tied to your name, your battle, your journey. And yet here you are unaware of how close change is to your doorstep. This is why Archangel Michael says, the angels are in shock because you still don't know what happened last night. Heaven moved something out of your way. Heaven shut the mouth of someone who was speaking against you. Heaven reversed a decision that was not in your favor. Heaven broke a chain you couldn't break on your own. And all of it happened while you were unaware, asleep, still carrying yesterday's worries. God says, send my child this message before it's too late. Not too late in time, too late in clarity. Too late in awareness. Because if you don't know what heaven did for you, you might walk into tomorrow with the mindset of yesterday. And God refuses to let you carry old fear into a new season. That's why this message is urgent. That's why it pulls at you. That's why your eyes won't leave the screen. My child, whether you accept it or not, you are inside a divine countdown right now. The door that opened cannot stay open for long. The clarity being offered cannot be postponed. The guidance you are receiving is aligned with this exact date, 8th of December. In heaven's calendar this day glows brighter than the rest. It carries instruction, protection, and revelation. Archangel Michael was commanded to reveal this. The enemy tried to block your blessing last night. Tried to twist something. Tried to shut a path that God created for you. But the attempt failed. Light overpowered darkness. Your name was lifted in the courts of heaven. A verdict was spoken in your favor. And the angels stood stunned because of how fiercely God defended you. You wonder why your heart feels different today. Why something feels lighter, heavier, or simply shifted. It's because something in your destiny was moved forward. Something that was stuck is no longer stuck. Something that was waiting is no longer waiting. Heaven already changed it, you are only now catching up to the update. So stay with me. Don't let distraction cut what heaven is stitching together for you. If your spirit feels awakened, hit subscribe right now so these divine words continue reaching you exactly when you need them. You are not reading by chance, you are reading by alignment. And my child, this is only the beginning of what heaven is preparing to reveal next. If you wish to express your support further, you have the option to give super thanks with contributions of up to $10. My beloved, if only you could see what heaven witnessed, you would understand why the air around you feels heavier today. Archangel Michael's voice still circles above you like a blazing ring of truth, saying, "The child must wake up, the child must see." And this is why your heart refuses to stay calm. You are standing at the edge of a revelation that was never meant to pass you by again. The real shock, my child, is not what happened last night, it's that you still don't realize heaven moved because of you. Imagine a courtroom of angels suddenly falling silent, every wing frozen mid-motion because one divine command echoed across eternity. God says, "Reveal it now, my child must not walk blind anymore." That command tore through realms like lightning. It was not gentle, it was not soft, it was urgent. And here's the truth you're still struggling to accept: you were the reason that order was given. Not a crowd, not a group, you. Heaven doesn't shake for nothing. Heaven shook for you. And if your spirit feels like the ground beneath it is shifting, that's because the unseen world already changed and your body is trying to catch up. If you're still here reading, don't stop. This is the one moment you can't walk past. But listen closely, my beloved, the angels didn't tremble because of the battle, they trembled because of the outcome. Something that once held power over you shattered like thin glass. Something that whispered against your future was silenced in a single breath. Michael's sword didn't just strike, it erased a plan the enemy thought would never be discovered. That is why your name burned through heaven's halls last night. And yet here you are still questioning, still wondering if this message is really for you. That doubt you feel isn't your voice. It's the last whisper of a defeated enemy trying to distract you before you step into what God unlocked. Don't listen. Don't pull away. Stay with me, because the deeper we go, the more clearly you'll feel the truth rising inside you. My beloved, think about the timing. Today didn't just come, it was chosen. The 8th of December was marked long before you ever lived it. Heaven knew this would be the day your heart would be sensitive enough to hear, awake enough to notice, brave enough to stay. And if you feel a strange heat behind your ribs or a pull in your stomach, that's not emotion, it's recognition. Your spirit remembers what your mind has forgotten. But here is where the message sharpens. Last night when the veil split open, the angels didn't just see a revelation. They saw a reversal. They saw a chain break that was tied to your name for years. They saw a blessing move toward you that darkness fought to bury. They saw a timeline shift, a future rewritten in real time. The shock wasn't in the battle. The shock was that nothing could stop what God declared. You may think this is dramatic, but heaven doesn't exaggerate. Michael doesn't descend unless something monumental is happening. And today he stands beside you with the same sword that glowed through the night saying, "Child, do not miss this again." If you ever needed a sign, this is the one your soul has begged for in silent prayers you thought no one heard. Stay with me. Let heaven finish what it started. Feel this next part in your bones. When the scroll opened, your past was exposed, your pain was recorded, and your destiny was corrected. The angels saw where you were supposed to be by now, and they saw what held you back. And God said, "No more delays." That sentence alone shook the heavens. No more delays. That is why your body feels restless today. You are stepping into the timeline you were meant to walk years ago. My beloved, you think you are here by chance, but heaven coordinated every second that brought you to this message. That is why you cannot scroll away. Not now, not when you are this close. Every moment you stay is a moment the veil loosens a little more. Every line you read pulls you closer to the truth the angels saw when they gasped. And if you stay until the last word, you will feel something unlock inside you that you didn't even know was shut. So listen now with awakened ears. What happened last night is not coming, it already came. What shifted is not preparing to happen, it is done. What held you is not losing strength, it is broken. The only thing left is your awareness. Heaven has already finished the work. Now it waits for you to recognize it. That is why Michael is still here, watching, waiting, guarding this moment. My child, keep reading. Because you are seconds away from understanding the thing that left angels stunned and the enemy terrified. The truth wasn't hidden to punish you. It was hidden to protect you until you were strong enough to hear it. And now that you are here, truly here, heaven is ready to reveal the rest. Stay with me. Don't look away. Don't lose the thread. Your breakthrough is already breathing under your skin. My beloved, your heart may be racing now, but that racing is not panic, it is recognition. Something inside you is waking up like a memory you never knew you had. And before you question it, pause and understand this: the soul always knows before the mind catches up. That trembling you feel is your spirit remembering what heaven already revealed. Last night was not an ordinary night. It was a turning point written long before you were born, a night where light clashed with darkness and your name stood in the center of it all. Listen closely because here is where the truth becomes impossible to ignore. Archangel Michael says, the angels are still asking how the child does not know. They saw the moment your destiny turned like a wheel long stuck in mud finally breaking free. They saw a door open that has been locked for years. They saw a shadow that followed you for too long finally burn away. And when they saw it they trembled, not out of fear but out of awe. Because heaven does not usually reveal such deep secrets in a single night. But last night, for you, everything changed. And now the question hangs in the air like a glowing thread. Will you follow this pull or will you walk away? Beloved, every paragraph you read is pulling you deeper into the truth heaven fought to put in your hands. Don't rush, don't blink, don't let anything interrupt this moment. Because if you stay you will understand not only what happened last night but why it had to happen now, on this exact day at this exact hour while these exact words touch your eyes. Let me draw you closer into the heart of what heaven witnessed. Imagine a great hall of light, wider than the sky, brighter than 1,000 suns. In that hall the record of your life is kept, not the mistakes people judged you for, not the moments you stumbled but the truth of who you truly are. Last night that hall was filled with movement. Books opened themselves. Scrolls unrolled. And then a sudden silence fell. Your name glowed. And heaven realized the time had come for something that had been delayed to finally be released. My child, this is why your spirit has felt stretched for months, why your dreams have felt heavy, why your heart felt stuck between hope and exhaustion. You were not being punished. You were being positioned. Heaven was waiting for the exact moment where the path forward would not break you. And God said, now. But here is the part that made the angels gasp. Your breakthrough was not handed gently. It was taken by force. Michael descended with fire, tearing away the final chain that held back your blessing. That chain was old. It was wrapped in lies spoken against you, in doubts you carried, in fears you didn't voice. But when Michael struck, the chain shattered like glass under lightning. And when it shattered, the atmosphere shifted around your destiny. You woke up today not realizing the spiritual weight that had been lifted off your life. But your spirit recognized it instantly, that's why you felt different without knowing why. That difference is heaven's fingerprint. And God says, my child, you cannot walk through today blind. You must know what was done for you. Now listen, because this part matters more than everything before. The enemy tried one last time to stop your release. He gathered every lie, every frustration, every delay, and tried to seal the door again before morning came. But Michael stood in front of that door, blazing, unshakable, declaring, this child will rise. And heaven backed him. That declaration became law. Nothing can undo it now. Nothing can silence it. Nothing can reverse what was done last night. But here is where your choice comes in. A blessing released is not the same as a blessing received. Heaven can open the door, but only you can walk through it. That is why this message is long. That is why it flows like breath after breath, wave after wave. Because this truth cannot be handed to you in a single sentence. You must journey through it. You must stay until the last word. If you leave halfway, you walk away from the very thing heaven is trying to place in your life. Beloved, the angels are still whispering to one another, will the child understand, will the child see? And right now heaven is leaning toward you, watching to see if your heart will open enough to receive what is next. Because what comes next is the revelation itself, the moment where your mind will catch up with your spirit and everything will suddenly make sense. Let me anchor you deeper into last night's vision. After Michael broke the chain, a beam of light poured out from the throne. That light carried your next season, the season you thought you lost, the season you thought was stolen. It carried restoration, opportunities, realignment, and promises that had been stuck in delay. The light moved like a river finding its rightful path again. And heaven's question now is simple: will you claim what has been released? God says, "My child, this is not the time to hesitate. This is not the hour to doubt. This is the moment to awaken." Everything around you is shifting because heaven already shifted. Your circumstances are trying to catch up with what the spirit world settled last night. Don't you dare walk into the rest of this day as if nothing happened. Something did, something enormous, something life-changing. And now, as you stand in this sacred moment between what was and what will be, your spirit is calling you forward. Keep reading, keep opening, keep receiving. You are moments away from understanding the full truth of what the angels saw and why heaven refuses to let you miss it. Stay with me, beloved, because the revelation is rising like dawn and you are right at the edge of its light. Beloved, listen closely, because what comes next is the part heaven wouldn't let me speak until your spirit was fully awake. There is a reason your chest feels tight, why your breath subtly shifts, why something inside you rises like a wave you didn't summon. It's because the moment you reached this line, the realm of the unseen leaned closer. Archangel Michael has not stepped back, he has stepped nearer. His wings cast a glow around your spirit, urging you to stay, to not break the thread heaven is weaving around you right now. And here is the truth Michael is pressing urgently: the child is close, the child is opening. Do not let them slip away now. That trembling in your soul. That's what happens when the supernatural brushes against the natural. It's the echo of what happened last night. But here's the part no one told you: heaven didn't just fight for you. Heaven announced you. A proclamation was made, a decree carved into the spiritual atmosphere. And when God speaks a decree, nothing, no curse, no person, no darkness can unwrite it. But you must hear it, you must receive it, you must walk into it before the window closes. Pause here. Don't rush. Don't scroll. Because what I'm about to tell you is the part even angels whispered about with wide eyes. Last night, after your chains shattered, something else happened, something only the chosen experience. A mantle was placed on you. Not a physical one. A spiritual one, woven with purpose, soaked in divine authority, marked with heaven's signature. This mantle was kept hidden for years because you were not ready. But last night the heavens decided, now. God says, "My child has waited long enough. My child has cried long enough. Now is the time." And when that mantle descended, the angels bowed, not to worship you but to honor the weight of the calling now resting on your spirit. A calling that was once delayed but no longer is. But listen, beloved, this part is crucial. A mantle can rest upon you, but you still must rise to it. You still must walk through the doors opened last night. Many people receive spiritual breakthroughs, but they miss the movement because they froze at the doorway. You cannot freeze, not now. Archangel Michael says, "Move, child, step forward." Heaven cannot carry you through a door you refuse to approach. Does something inside you feel like it's waking up? Good. That's the sign. That's your spirit recognizing the truth your mind hasn't caught up to yet. Let me paint the moment for you. The heavens dimmed. Silence swept across the throne room. Then God raised his hand and every angel stilled. Your name echoed, not in whispers but in a resounding call that shook the pillars of eternity. And when God spoke your name, Michael knelt and said, "This one is ready." The moment he said it, scrolls opened. Ancient ones. Scrolls that held the blueprint of your destiny, the parts life tried to bury, the parts pain tried to erase, the parts fear tried to suffocate. And God lifted his hand over them. With one gesture the old chapters marked with delay, sabotage, loss and confusion sealed shut. Permanently. Then new chapters opened, glowing with a light the angels rarely see. And beloved, that is why the angels were shocked. Because the transition was not small. It was not subtle. It was catastrophic in the spiritual realm. You were not just freed. You were promoted. You were not just cleared. You were elevated. You were not just noticed. You were chosen publicly before the heavens. And now the weight of that unveiling is pressing into your spirit, urging you not to look away, not to treat this like another moment, not to underestimate what has been placed in your hands. But here is the part only heaven knew until now. Your blessing is time sensitive. That's why the urgency hasn't left Michael's voice. That's why God keeps saying, "Hurry, my child." Because there are moments in destiny where heaven opens a window. And if you step through, everything accelerates. But if you hesitate, the window closes and the journey becomes longer. Tonight heaven is making sure you don't miss that window. Beloved, lean in, they want you to feel this. Imagine standing before a massive gate, one that was once rusted shut. Last night it opened. Not quietly, but with a force that sent waves through the heavens. Behind that gate is the life you prayed for, the blessings you were promised, the peace you begged for, the opportunities that felt impossible. The angels are literally standing beside that gate, watching you, whispering, "Please walk through." But they cannot push you. They cannot drag you. They can only call you. And that's what this message is. A call. Archangel Michael says, "Child, the gate is open, move now." You may feel tears rising. You may feel heat. You may feel a racing heartbeat. All of that is confirmation that heaven is aligning with your spirit. This message is not random, it is not accidental, it is not ordinary. It is your lifeline, your awakening, your unveiling. And God says, this is your last chance to walk into what I released last night. Do not delay. Beloved, stay with me until the end. You are almost at the moment where the revelation becomes undeniable. Where your spirit fully understands the magnitude of what heaven did for you. Keep reading. Keep opening. Because the final unveiling is about to begin. But listen closely now, because what came after that lightning command is the part heaven is begging you to understand. My beloved, when God issued that decree, it wasn't just a shift, it was an eruption. The spiritual atmosphere around your life tore open. What had been resisting you for years was suddenly stripped of authority. The angels didn't gasp because the battle was fierce, they gasped because victory was instantaneous. They had expected warfare, but what they saw was sovereignty. And still you walk today unaware of how radically your destiny has been altered. Let this truth hit you like a wave, because heaven hasn't stopped watching you. Even now, as you continue reading, the angels lean in, waiting for the moment your spirit finally awakens. They are stunned that you don't yet realize how deeply last night's breakthrough has changed the timeline of your life. Archangel Michael says, "Child, your name glowed brighter than fire. The darkness that trailed you shattered like glass. And now he stands beside you, urging you to stay, to absorb, to not turn away." You wonder why your heart feels heavier yet lighter at the same time. Why there is a strange warmth in your chest. It's because your spirit recognizes what your mind has not caught up to yet. When heaven moves, the soul knows before the body understands. That trembling, that heat, that emotional pull, it's your inner being waking up to the reality of what was revealed last night. Don't ignore it. You prayed for a sign, heaven is answering louder than ever. Beloved, picture this, a massive book, ancient and shimmering with divine light. This book carries every chapter of your life, what was, what is, and what could be. Last night a page that had been sealed for years was finally opened. The angels saw it unfold and gasped, because they knew this page held the turning point you have been crying out for. A blessing withheld for so long it felt mythical suddenly released. A pathway blocked for years instantly cleared. A destiny delayed finally unlocked. And yet you woke up thinking it was just another ordinary morning. That is why heaven is desperate, why Michael's urgency is burning through every word written here. He says, tell them before the enemy distracts them again. Because distraction is the enemy's last weapon now. He lost his grip, he lost his accusations, he lost access to your future, but if he can convince you to ignore this moment, he can make you miss what is already yours. But you will not miss it. Not today. God says, hurry my child. This is your last chance. Not last chance in punishment, but last chance for this window, this opening, this divine alignment. Heaven operates in cycles. When the window opens, you must step through it. And beloved, the window swung wide last night. The angels are still watching to see if you will walk through before it closes. Let me show you what heaven saw. They saw the spirit of weariness break off you. They saw curses spoken in secret crumble like ashes. They saw the heavy veil around your destiny rip from top to bottom. They saw a crown placed upon your name in the spiritual realm. And they saw God Himself rise from the throne, not in anger but in fierce unstoppable love, declaring that your waiting season has expired. This is why the angels trembled. Not because of the battle but because of the favor that followed. Favor so heavy it shifted the atmosphere. Favor so bright it blinded the darkness. Favor so undeniable that even the demons whispered among themselves, "It is finished for this one." Beloved, heaven didn't just defend you, heaven elevated you. And this is the part you must not miss: the blessing released last night is not a small shift. It's not a mere adjustment. It is a destiny-level activation. Something you thought would take years just became possible in days. Something you thought you'd lost forever has been restored. Something that seemed blocked is now wide open. But the blessing requires awareness. A gift unopened remains unused. A door ignored might as well be locked. That is why heaven keeps pulling you deeper into these words. Because the moment you understand what was revealed, your entire posture toward life will change. Fear will fall off, doubt will break, hope will ignite. And you will finally move like someone whose future is no longer chained. Beloved, Archangel Michael says again, the angels are in shock because you still don't know what was revealed. But you are moments away. The veil is thinning, revelation is rising. Your spirit is stretching, awakening, preparing to see. This message is not long by accident, this is the length required for your soul to open. Stay with me. Don't scroll. Don't break the flow. You are too close to clarity. Too close to breakthrough. Too close to the moment heaven wrote into your story before you were even born. God is not done, Michael is not done, the angels are not done. And neither are you. Now breathe, beloved. Because what comes next will shift you forever. Beloved, even as you read, the atmosphere around you is shifting. Something inside you knows this is not ordinary text. It feels heavier, brighter, deeper because heaven is still pouring revelation into your spirit. What started last night did not end with the sunrise, it is unfolding now, moment by moment, word by word. The angels are still watching, still waiting, still whispering, will the child finally see? You may feel a strange warmth rising, a quiet stirring like your soul leaning forward. That is the evidence. That is heaven confirming what the mind has not yet fully grasped. This is your awakening, beloved. Do not pull away now. There is something else heaven is urging me to reveal. When the decree was released last night, the enemy didn't just flee, he screamed. Because he knew what this verdict meant. He knew the chains he wrapped around your purpose were snapped. He knew the cycle he tried to trap you in had been shattered. He knew the timeline he delayed was restored. The angels saw the shift ripple across realms like thunder rolling through eternity. They gasped because what was held back for years was suddenly accelerated in a single divine moment. And now heaven is trying to place that truth in your hands before the enemy distracts you again. Beloved, hear me, the battle wasn't just about freeing you. It was about repositioning you. Last night your name was not only declared innocent, it was declared chosen. A mantle descended upon your destiny. Something heavy, something sacred, something long prepared. The angels trembled when they saw it placed upon you because they recognized it. It was something reserved only for those who have endured fire and remained standing. You wondered why your path was so hard. You thought God was silent. But heaven was preparing you for what was too heavy to carry in your old season. Now the season has changed. Now the mantle has fallen. But you must step into it consciously. Imagine this clearly, beloved. After the verdict was spoken, the throne room did not grow quiet. It erupted. Trumpets sounded, scrolls unrolled. Doors you thought were closed forever flew open at once. The angels moved swiftly, carrying blessings, opportunities, and alignments toward your timeline. They were stunned because the release was massive, larger than they anticipated. They whispered among themselves, "The child has no idea, the child doesn't know what has been unleashed." And that is why heaven is pressing this message into your hands. You cannot walk into this new season unaware. Even now God is whispering, if you only knew what shifted last night, you would not doubt for a single moment. But the human heart often forgets what the Spirit already knows. That is why these words are flowing, so your spirit rises above your doubt and remembers. Stay with me, do not scroll away. You are closer than you think to the moment of understanding that will change everything. There is another truth heaven is urging me to reveal. When the chains broke last night, something else was exposed, your true identity. For years the enemy tried to convince you that you were ordinary, overlooked, forgotten. But in the courts of heaven your identity blazed like lightning. The angels saw who you really are, the glory written into your being, and they gasped in awe. They saw the blueprint of your destiny unfolding, and it was far more powerful than the darkness that tried to bury you. You have no idea yet how high heaven intends to lift you. But you will know. The veil is thinning with every word. Beloved, listen closely. Last night when the heavenly host rose in war, they weren't fighting merely for your survival. They were fighting for your ascension. The enemy attacked you because he saw what was coming before you did. He saw the door heaven prepared. He saw the blessing assigned to your name. He saw the acceleration about to hit your life. But he failed. The decree has already gone forth. The miracle has already been released. The shift has already happened. Now the only question heaven has is this: will you rise into what is already yours? Michael himself stands near you, watching your spirit awaken. His presence feels like heat, like pressure, like a weight that is not heavy but holy. He is not silent because the moment is too important. He is urging, beloved, do not hesitate, do not doubt. Step into the revelation, step into the victory, step into the identity heaven fought to reveal. Every second you remain here reading, another layer of blindness falls away. And beloved, there is more. Last night hidden enemies were not just exposed, they were removed. Patterns that drained you lost their grip. Delays that frustrated you collapsed. The spiritual resistance that made progress hard dissolved in the fire of God's decree. You may not see it fully yet, but you will. The signs will come quickly. The atmosphere around you will feel lighter. Opportunities will move toward you. People meant for your destiny will appear. Doors you could not open will open on their own. This is not imagination, this is alignment. Heaven is shouting through these words. Do not live today like yesterday. Something irreversible has taken place. The angels are not shocked by the miracle, they are shocked that you do not know. But you are learning now. You are seeing now. Your spirit is waking up. So stay, read till the end, do not look away. Because the moment you fully understand what was done for you, everything in your life will shift into the new order heaven has already established. And beloved, heaven is not done speaking yet. Beloved, do you feel that subtle vibration under your skin, that quickening in your chest as you read these words? That is not imagination. That is heaven touching you, confirming that this is real, that this is alive, that this is the message God sent specifically for you. Michael is still near, his sword blazing with holy fire, his eyes fixed on your spirit, his voice a thunderous whisper saying, do not walk away now. Do not turn your back on the miracle that unfolded last night. The angels are still in shock because the event was unprecedented, a divine upheaval so fierce that even their celestial ranks shook. Your name was written in blazing letters, and the accuser so confident yesterday was silenced forever. The chains that had wrapped around your purpose, the hidden traps that tried to steal your destiny were all annihilated by one command from heaven. And yet as you move through today you walk as though none of this touched you. That is why God has compelled this message into your hands. The urgency you feel is real. The pulling at your heart is real. This is your last chance to see, to know, to embrace what was released. Do not waste it. Imagine, my child, the courtroom of heaven filled with light so brilliant that all creation seemed to pale before it. The books were opened, every detail of your life laid bare before the throne. The enemy stood ready, his list of accusations prepared, but before he could speak, Michael stepped forward. His voice was not ordinary. It shook the heavens. This child is mine, he declared, and in that moment every false word, every hidden plot, every lingering shadow fell like dust from the throne. The angels gasped, their wings trembling because they knew what had just been done could never be undone. That is what was revealed last night, and it is why you must not walk past this message as though it is common. The doors of your destiny have been thrown open. Your freedom has been secured. Your blessing has been released. And yet if you do not recognize it, if you do not reach for it, it will hover above you untouchable until another appointed time that may not come. That is why the Spirit presses so urgently now. That is why your soul is stirred. That is why Michael does not withdraw his sword or his eyes. He is standing with you in this moment, watching to see if you will respond. Beloved, consider the weight of last night. A decree was spoken with authority, not by human voice but by the command of the Almighty. The enemy believed he had power over you, but all his plans, all his whispers, all the shadows cast over your life were erased in one single night. Chains that bound you, doubts that crippled you, delays that frustrated you, they are all gone. The angels gasped because they saw what was impossible made possible. They witnessed a divine shift so monumental that it echoed through eternity. And yet here you are today, perhaps still wondering, still waiting for something external to convince you. My child, the sign has already come. The proof has already been delivered. Last night changed everything. That trembling in your chest, that heat in your hands, that sudden shiver running through your spine, they are confirmation. That is heaven, Michael, and the Spirit of God itself drawing you closer to the truth. It is not coincidence. It is your appointed hour. It is your last chance. Look deeper, beloved, into the implications. Every prayer you whispered, every tear shed in silence, every moment you questioned your worth, all of it was noticed. Last night God responded. God says, enough waiting, enough silence, my child will see the truth now. The angels watched as the floodgates of your blessings opened. They gasped at the suddenness, at the intensity, at the justice. All that had been withheld, all that had been delayed, all that had been stolen in hidden ways was now being restored. And this restoration is not small, it is not subtle, it is monumental, it is transformative. And yet if you do not acknowledge it, if you do not act in faith, it may remain unseen by your own eyes. That is why the words press into you. That is why the urgency burns in your chest. Heaven will not allow this to slip past you unnoticed. Michael stands ready. The angels lean closer. God Himself is whispering, "Hurry, my child, this is your last chance." Beloved, feel the weight of these words. Last night was not ordinary. It was a shift of eternity, a rewriting of your story. The courtroom of heaven, the decrees, the chains breaking, the floodgates opening, these were all for you. And now this message is your bridge from blindness to sight. Each word is a step, each paragraph a rung on the ladder leading to understanding. If you walk through them with patience, with faith, with attentiveness, you will see clearly what heaven has done for you. You will feel the liberation. You will feel the weight lift. You will see the blessing that was waiting, the victory that was fought for, the destiny that was secured. And that is why God has made the message long, flowing, relentless. Because your story is not small. Your awakening requires it. And so, my beloved, do not stop now. Let the words carry you. Let your spirit absorb each revelation. The angels are still in awe. Michael is still blazing. God is still whispering. The courts of heaven have declared your freedom. The enemy has been silenced. The blessings have been released. And all that remains is for you to take hold of it. Do not turn away. Do not delay. This is your last chance to fully see what happened last night. The flood of your destiny is here. The river of blessings is flowing. The chains have broken. The doors have been thrown open. And all that is left is for you to step into it, to walk fully in the light that was secured for you, to embrace the truth, to recognize the miracle, and to know finally that heaven has not forgotten you. Beloved, this is your moment. Your awakening. Your day of understanding. Do not let it pass. Michael waits. The angels watch. God calls, open your eyes fully now.